Welcome all to ICOTLG's, Israel's Church of the Living God's 6th annual Black History program entitled Black History in the Summer. Yes, my name is Brother Caleb, and I'm here I'm one of the elders at Israel's Church of the Living God, and we're here to hopefully enlighten those that's not aware of what we're about to present here. There are several people in the room that I'm certainly aware of this history, but nevertheless, this is our passion to enlighten individuals to the truth according to the scriptures. Okay? So there's a lot going on, of course, in our neighborhoods, worldwide actually. We tend to like to help individuals in understanding the scriptures. Hosea 6:4 says, our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So therefore, that says a lot. We need to be educated on how to save ourselves. All right? And this thing is bigger than us. It's bigger than any individual in this room. Okay? Now, as I said, we got a lot to cover here, so we appreciate you all coming out again and bearing with us. We put a lot of effort into this to make this thing go over without a hitch. So again, please bear with us. We're all novices here. Trust that. But now, you know, I was just looking at this website just this morning, and I just want to share a few things with you. This is called Hey Jack ASS. That's what it's called. Okay, this is a website, and it gives you the statistics of the murders and the things that's going on in just one city, the city of Chicago. All right. Now, if y'all will listen to this, I want to just kind of read off some statistics. Excuse me. Okay, the date, this is July to date. It says shot and killed 26. That's in July to this very date, as of this morning. Shot and killed 26. Shot and wounded 202. Total shot 228. Total homicide 29. And that's July to this morning, okay? This very day. Now here's the last week's totals. It says 7/10 to 7/16. Shot and killed 10. Shot and wounded 68. Total shots 78. Total homicides 11. Again, that's last week's total. All right? Year to date. Shot and killed 325 souls. Shot and wounded 1,874. Total shot 2,199. It's 2,199 individuals who shot in the city of Chicago this very year. All right? Total homicides, 361. It's ridiculous. Then they give a graph, and you guys want to go to that site and check it out. They give you the addresses of the individuals shot, and it's very in-depth. So it's a nice something to check out if you will. Now, so that, again, this is partially why we want to bring this information to light. Because, again, our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And if you get this knowledge, once you know better, you do better, right? So if you may think that this is something, a physical thing, but this is a spiritual thing. It's too many folks dying these days for this to be something other than a higher power. Amen. All right? So this is way beyond us. So we want to go ahead and continue on with this program. I just wanted to kind of give you guys set the groundwork more or less for the program that we're about to present to you. And again, this is very, very important information, and this is the most important thing that you can ever be involved in, is trying to secure eternal salvation. All right? And I don't know if we got people that believe this belief or that belief, but we know that there's one true and living God. And there is a day of judgment coming. So please, people, pay attention. And like a lot of us here in this room, again, we were blown back by this information when we heard it the first time. And if you're here for the first time, I'm certain you're going to be blown back as well. Okay? And but we'll leave our information for all those that might want to contact us later. Okay? And again, my name is Brother Caleb. I'm the MC for today.
Shouldn't be overlooked. It's a very serious scenario. This is in Africa. This conquered Judea a few hundred years after the tribes of Israel went into exile. Perhaps millions of Judeans were sold into slavery. Into Africa, into Rome, deep into Africa. And if you look now, you're seeing people who are most likely the descendants of those slaves who kept true. I'd like to bring up a few specific examples, because they're going to be game changers. One of them wrote letters to Israel when it became a state. And they said, we're Israelites out in Africa. You know, everyone laughed at them and they said, African Israelites, these people are just trying to jump on the first world country bandwagon. They're living in a third world country, they got nothing. We're coming to Israel, we got innovation, technology. So they're trying to get on this train because there's such a thing called the right of return. All descendants of the Jewish people from around the world are able to move to Israel. So they said we are also. And everyone kind of laughed at them, like I said. And a few people took it serious and went out there and started studying them, learned about their culture. And a professor from Duke University went out there and did DNA testing on them. And they showed not only did they share Semitic genes from people who were in Yemen and back to the Middle East, these gentlemen, a large percent of them, have the Y chromosome to be Kohanim, to be priests. Now, if anyone doesn't know, a priest is a specific family clan of the nation of Israel, who come from Aaron, the brother of Moses, who was the first priest. And anyone descended from Aaron, this has the status title priest. And we found that these men in this village in South Africa called Lemba, L-E-M-B-A, carry this genetic marker. This could have tremendous implications. Another area in Africa you have something big happening is in Nigeria. You have the Igbo people, or Igbo, pronounced either way. There's 40 million of them, also Christians. Like I spoke about before, how that could happen to the children of Israel very easily. And where it gets interesting is, in America, there was a slave trade. And a lot of the slaves, a very high percentage of them, came from Western Nigerian ports. And in America today, you see a very large movement of African Americans who say that they're the real chosen people, that they're the children of Israel, they're the Judeans. You know, so what are they just trying to create an identity for themselves because they were slaves, or is there really something here? And the answer is most likely there is something there. And most likely, maybe that they were the original Israelites, and maybe that the Jewish people today, who are white, Caucasian people, came in a little bit later on. Now you have people in Africa saying that they're the real people of Israel. It can't be ruled out at all. We know they were sold into slavery. We know now that they're fulfilling prophecies by saying they're coming back.
Wives, submit yourselves to your husbands as written in the Lord. Husbands, love your wives and do not be harsh with them. Children, obey your parents in everything, for this pleases the Lord. Slaves, obey your earthly masters in everything, not only when their eyes on you and to curry the favor, but with sincerity of the heart and reference of the Lord.
Well, I don't believe it. How old are you, boy?
9 years, sir.
Yeah, gentlemen. It's dangerous, you know. You teaching them to read? That's true. That Turner was taught to read.
Nonsense. Let me show you. Boy, can you explain to me the meaning of what you just read?
No, master.
See? It's like a parrot reciting Shakespeare. Well done, Elam. Well done.
Hi, Shalom from Israel. This is Ola, the daughter of Jethro. And I just heard that you black people that was stolen from Africa to America, that you don't know who you are. But you are the children of Yahweh, the children of Israel. And I'm telling you, you have to come back to your homeland, near to Zion, to Jerusalem, because as the Gentiles, we do need you. We need you to come and pray, because you are our Savior. You're the one that was chosen by Yahweh to live in this land, not the Jewish people, it's you. You were stolen from Africa, they deceived you, they told you that you are slaves, but you actually the children of Israel. And it's time just to come back. Come for your people, come back for us, come back for the whole Gentiles, because only you can save us. So please come back to that.
as y'all can see, Hollywood knows what's up, as well as other nations. So this is not some wild goose type chase of a thing. We definitely know who we are, and hopefully if you do the research, you'll come up with the same conclusion, because there only is one conclusion. The truth is the truth. There's only one truth. Okay? So with that said, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and have keynote speaker, Pastor Rodney Russell. Let's welcome Mr. Russell to the stage. Pastor Russell. And we'll have our reader come up as well. This is Brother Ozias, Israel. Welcome, welcome. Thank you.
Once again, hello everybody. Glad to see everybody come out. We do this, and this is like our 6th year doing this, and we appreciate Israel coming out, and we also appreciate the community coming out.
Yes, sir.
Y'all give me a second here.
Take two.
Because when we do Black history, we do the Black history that's not in your textbooks. We do Black history that's not in your textbooks. Where's my bag? Give it to her. It takes a while to do this type of research. It took me a while to do this. So you all just bear with me. I really need some more light up here. Somebody turn that light. Bring that light right here. Hold on. Can we get another cord there? And then bring that light up here. Yeah. Y'all know I can't see getting older. That one ain't gonna work. Okay, just bear with us just 1 minute here. I want to get started, and then I can't see. Bring that over here some more, yeah. Bring it over this way. Bring that light over there. As far as you, close as you can get. I really appreciate that. There you go, that's better.
You don't have that in the video taking the screen.
Yeah, that's
Put it over here, can you go over there?
Yeah, when I hear on the stage.
All right, set it right here. I'm sorry, y'all, but I gotta see. I gotta see. I might not need this much light, but
Israel, bring it to me a little bit. Just a tad. There you go, right there. All right.
The lights on the walls are not on, is that what's missing?
yeah, can we get those lights on the wall?
Maybe that's what, so you need that after so people can see?
What's more like? Okay.
There you go. That's it, brother.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, like I said, I would like to thank everybody for coming out. And I see we got a full house today, which is pleasing to me because I put a lot of work into this. And I like to see when a lot of people come out, especially new people come out to learn this. Because we as black people and as white people, or what we commonly call Gentiles, we all need to hear this. All of us need to hear this. So it's called Black History in the summer, from the captivity of the black man to the second Exodus. And I want you to keep in mind that what we are dealing with today, we are dealing with the captivity of Israel. And we're dealing with the captivity of the black man. And we're going to show you that this black man is the Israelite. We are the descendants of the people in the Bible.
Yes, sir.
We are the descendants of the people in the Bible. So we're going to get started into this. We're going to go and we're going to show the picture first of the Israelites, Noah and his descendants. This is Noah and his descendants. Now, so we're dealing right here with Jacob. This is Noah, Abraham, right? Shem, Abraham. Abraham had, this is supposed to be Isaac, and then Ishmael. Here's Isaac right here, I'm sorry. Then here's Jacob. And that's the lineage that we're really dealing with today. So Jacob's seed is Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, right, and Benjamin. But we're mainly dealing with today, Judah. We're going to touch on Dan a little bit. And we're going to show you that these people of the Bible are our ancestors. That's what we're showing you today. Yes, and we're going to show you this through the captivity of this people, that this people was dispersed among all the nations, just like the Bible said. So everybody just sit back and relax. And I'm going to take my time a little bit with this. I need some more light. I'm going to take my time a little bit with this. Okay, so let's go to that next slide. Let's go to the next slide. So this next slide that we're about to show, these are Israelites that went into exile. And notice how these Israelites right here, this is the Assyrian captivity, and this is the Babylonian captivity. And notice that these people have braids in their hairs, and these have locks in their hair. Everybody see that? Can everybody see that?
Yes, sir.
So even their beards are beaded or braided. And this is who we are. These are our ancestors. And we're going to show you that. Let's go to the map now. Now, this map that we're about to show you, going to the map. You don't have it. Okay. Okay. Well, let me just say it then.
Canaanites.
No, we're going to the map. of the Israelites on the African continent. Okay, so now, keep in mind, well, I'm just trying to set the stage now, okay? I'm just trying to do a little groundwork right here without going to the Bible and then coming back out going to the Bible. So now what we have is the Israelites, the 12 tribes on the land of Canaan. This land of Canaan, this is Africa. Everybody see this? This is Africa. And these are the 12 tribes that's on the land of Canaan, which is Africa. Everybody understand? Follow along with me now. I'm going to try not to go too fast. All right, now, we're going to show you, we're going to go to our first scripture. We're going to Matthew, the first chapter. Matthew, the first chapter. We're going to Matthew, the first chapter. And I know everybody didn't bring their Bibles because people didn't think that this was going to be a Bible lesson, which is not. It's a program. But we are going to use the Bible to show you who you are. So we're going to Matthew, the first chapter, and we're going to read verse 17. And here, we're going to bring you down to the first century. We're going to bring you down to the first century. All right? Go ahead and read verse 17.
So all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations. And from David until the carrying away into Babylon are 14 generations. And from the carrying away into Babylon unto Christ are 14 generations.
From the carrying away to Babylon unto Christ are 14 generations. So now Christ lived during the first century. And he also lived on what we call the African continent in Israel. Now, we're going to show you where the Lord had his parents to take him when he was born. So we're going to Matthew, the second chapter, Matthew 2 and 13. Matthew 2 and 13. Go ahead.
And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, and take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt.
Now, wait a minute now. Why is the Lord having him to flee into Egypt? Now, most people know that the Egyptians are a black people. If you look over here, we're going to show you too. At your leisure, you look over there, and you'll see that those Egyptians right there, those are black people. Now, you would ask yourself, if Jesus was like the Jew or the color of the person that we see today that calls himself a Jew, why would he send him down in Africa or send him down in Egypt? That's because Jesus was black. That's why he sent him down in Egypt, because he was a black. His mother was black, his father was black, which were Israelites. And Mary and Joseph were from the tribe of Judah. Now, let's go now. Let's go to Revelations, the first chapter, and we're going to show you that Jesus was indeed a black man. Now, don't get it wrong now, because this don't have nothing to do with black or white. We are dealing with black history, right? Everybody agree? Oh, yeah. We're dealing with black history. We're not dealing with no black and white. I'm just showing you that Jesus, if he looked like the ones that's called Jews today, then why was he sent down into Egypt and not down to Rome? Right. We at Revelation, the first chapter, Revelation, the first chapter, and we're going to pick it up at verse 14. Revelations, verse 11, Revelations 1 and 11. Go ahead and read that.
Saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last. What thou seest, write in a book, and send it unto the 7 churches which are in Asia, unto Ephesus, and unto Smyrna, and unto Pergamos, and unto Thyatira, and unto Sardis, and unto Philadelphia, and unto Laodicea.
Now, this is what the angel, this angel right here is speaking by the mouth of Jesus. That's why it's written in red. Okay? So he says, I'm Alpha and Omega, the first and the last. But go ahead and read the next verse.
And I turned to see the voice that spake with me.
And being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks. In the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man.
Now, who is the Son of Man? That's Jesus, right?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and read.
Clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the path with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
Now, who are the people on the earth that's got woolly hair? You look at it, well, I ain't got no hair right now, but I used to have a little afro in the 70s when I was young. Woolly hair. Look at Brother Caleb's hair. Look at Brother Andre's hair. Woolly hair. Look at Brother Jeff's hair. Woolly hair. Start that verse again, brother.
His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow.
Go ahead.
And his eyes were a flame of fire. And his feet like unto fine brass.
And his feet like unto fine brass. Do we have that slide? Go ahead and read.
As if they burned in a furnace.
Now look, this is burnt brass right here, as if it had been burned in a furnace. This has been burned in a furnace. Now you see what color that is? This is what color Jesus looked like. Except he was darker than this, though, because the book said that he was black like the curtains of Solomon, as the tents of Kedar. He was darker than this, but that don't look like the Jew of today do it. Don't look nothing like them do it. We don't have nothing against them neither. We don't have nothing against them.
Teach.
But we just showing you the truth. We showing you black history today, what you're not going to find in the textbooks. Read that verse one more time.
And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters.
Now, let's go now. We're going to look up, because the book said that Jesus was taken down into Egypt, didn't it?
Yes, sir.
Can we turn that fan off? He was taken down into Egypt. So now we're going to show you, we're going to read you something about the father of the Egyptians. We're going to read you something about the father of the Egyptians. And his name is Ham.
Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races.
Now wait a minute. Now he became the progenitor or the father of the dark races. In other words, Ham was the father of the African continent. He was the father of the African continent, which is the southern continent. Go ahead and read.
Not the Negroes.
Wait a minute. If he's not our father, then who's our father then? Because everybody call us African Americans, don't they?
That's right.
Don't get me wrong, we come from that continent, but are we Africans though?
No, sir.
Read that one more time, because somebody can hear that.
He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes.
He became the progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negroes. You know, the African people. He is their father, not the, who the Negroes? Come on, y'all ain't got to be scared to say it. Come on. Y'all know who the Negroes are. That's us, ain't it? So if Ham is not our father, then who is our father? We didn't just fall out the sky, did we?
Right, no, didn't.
We have a history, and we have a father just like everybody else does.
Make a claim.
Finish reading. Who's he the father of?
But the Egyptians.
The Egyptians. So now the Egyptians, we're going to show you a slide in a minute of the Egyptians, they black people. Who else?
Ethiopians.
The Ethiopians today, they still black, aren't they?
Yes, sir.
We know that around the 7th century, the Arabs went into Egypt and took over their land from the real Egyptians. But the Lord even said in, I think that's, Hosea 9? Or Amos the 9th chapter, that are you not as the Ethiopians unto me, O house of Israel? So the Ethiopians, they still black today, aren't they?
Yes, sir.
No.
He said the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, who else?
The Libyans and Canaanites.
And the Canaanites. The Canaanites, that's the land that the children of Israel settled in. The land of the Canaanites, which were African people. Does everybody understand? I hope I'm not going too fast for you. Now, we're going to show a picture right here of an Egyptian flogging Israelite. And we're going to read that caption, Brother Wayne. Can you see it? Maybe you need some more light.
Oh, I can see it better. An Egyptian slave endures a flogging in this fresco from a tomb of the New Kingdom.
Now look at this now. These are Egyptians right here that are flogging an Israelite. And look at this Egyptian right here. This is this mummy was unwrapped in Egypt. This is an Egyptian mummy. Look at his hair and look at what color his face is. Black. He's black, isn't he? Yes, sir. But look, more importantly though, look at these Egyptians flogging this Israelite, which is what? The same color that he is, the same color that these two are. Black people. Everybody starting to get the picture now? You know, I know a lot of people, not y'all, think that we crazy when we say that we are the Israelites. But look, we got all of this history. We got most assuredly the Bible. So if you don't believe the Bible, do you believe history? Yeah. This is an Israelite being flogged by an Egyptian. And all of them are the same color. Black. Let that sink in for a minute. Let that sink in for a minute. Did you finish that?
No, sir.
Started from the beginning.
An Egyptian slave endures a flogging in this fresco from a tomb of the New Kingdom. The number of slaves in Egypt increased dramatically during the New Kingdom, 1570 through 1085 BC, as a result of foreign conquests. The Israelites were enslaved during this period.
Oh, the Israelites were enslaved during this time. We got an Egyptian flogging an Israelite. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move to that next slide. Now we're going to show you the Canaanites. We're going to show you Canaanite captives right here. And look, we're going to read you this caption. All right, so now, you can read along with us if you want to, but go ahead and read that.
Canaanite captives in Egypt being led before the Pharaoh.
Now notice something now, they got beards, don't they? That's what the Lord told the children of Israel, that they're supposed to have beards. Go ahead.
This relief, which portrays the general appearance of Israelites.
Wait a minute, this relief portrays the general appearance of Israelites. These are black men right here. They don't have white features, and I'm just using that for identification. They have black features, don't they? But look at what else is going to say. Go ahead and read.
As well as Canaanites.
Oh, so wait a minute. Canaanites, those are African people. So you mean to tell me these Israelites look like Canaanites? Just like the Israelites look like the Egyptians. The Canaanites and the Egyptians, those two are brothers. But the Israelite look just like the Canaanite and the Egyptian. Go ahead and finish that.
Is a good representation of the typical Semite of the day.
Wait a minute, Semite? You mean Shem? That's who Semites, the Shemites.
Yes, sir.
They were black too. And Abraham, he came through Shem, didn't he?
That's right.
So what color do you think Abraham was then?
Black. Yes, sir.
Come on.
Note the noble aristocratic features, particularly the fine cut noses and the long hair and beards.
So the long hair and beards. This is what the Lord told the children of Israel to wear. Long hair and beards. I can't wear no long hair now because, you know, Brother say, man, let it go. I had cow licks everywhere. Go ahead.
It is commonly thought that Israelites had hooked noses, but this was originally a Hittite or Armenoid feature.
Go ahead.
From the temple of Ramses III at Medinet Habu in Egypt.
This was in a temple in Egypt. So we're not making this up. This was in a temple in Egypt. Now, let's go now. Let's go to Acts the 21st chapter because, you know, Paul, the Apostle Paul, he was mistaken for an Egyptian. Now, you know, now that you know what color the Egyptians are, then you won't have no problem recognizing what we're about to read right now. Because he was mistaken, the Apostle Paul was mistaken for an Egyptian. Let's read Acts 21 and 37. Acts 21 and 37. Go ahead and read that.
And as Paul was to be led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain, May I speak unto thee? Who said, Canst thou speak Greek?
Now they asked Paul, can you speak Greek? Evidently he must have said it in Greek. Can I speak to you? He said, you can speak Greek? Then look at what he asked him. Go ahead and read.
Art not thou that Egyptian, which before these days madest an uproar, and leddest out into the wilderness 4,000 men that were murderers?
Now you see what he called him? An Egyptian. He said, are you not that Egyptian? What color are the Egyptians? They are black people, right? Now some people might say, well, you know, he probably called him that because of the way he was dressed. Paul was not dressed like an Egyptian. Moses was dressed like an Egyptian, and Moses was mistaken for an Egyptian. Paul was dressed like a Roman because he said, I'm a citizen of Rome. So why would this Greek call Paul an Egyptian if he looked like the Jews that we see today? Why would he call him an Egyptian?
Make it plain, brother.
Because Paul, the apostle, was a black man. Don't y'all understand this Bible right here? This is our black history.
Yes, sir.
This is our black history we're reading about today. This is non-biased or none of that. We ain't biased about nothing. Because whosoever will, let them come. We don't care what. You can be purple, you can join us.
Isaiah 56:7.
So it ain't got nothing to do with that. We're just showing you who we are. And we proving to you who we are in the Bible and history. So you can go back and tell your family, you can go back and tell your friends that, you know what? Those black people in America that came over here on slave ships, those people are Israelites. They are the descendants of the Bible. Let's go now. Let's go to Acts the 2nd chapter, because you know you had Israelites already in African countries. And we're going to read a little bit about it. Just hold on to your seat, because it's going to get interesting in a minute. It's going to get interesting. We're in Acts the 2nd chapter. Pick it up at verse 5. Go ahead.
And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews.
Now look now. There were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews,
devout men out of every nation under heaven.
Devout men out of every nation under heaven. I know some people try to say, well, you know, this is talking about all people from different nations, but this is not talking. Look what we just read. It said they were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. Skip down to verse, no, keep reading. Just keep reading. Go ahead.
Now when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because that every man heard them speak in his own language. And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, Behold, how are not all these which speak Galileans?
See, he said that all these not which speak Galilean. That was a dialect that they spoke at this time. But go ahead.
And how hear we every man in our own tongue wherein we were born?
How hear we every man in our own language wherein we were born? Go ahead and read.
Parthians and Medes and Elamites and the dwellers of Mesopotamia and in Judea and Cappadocia and Pontus and Asia, Persia and Pamphylia and Egypt.
Stop right there. And in Egypt.
Yes, sir.
You had some Jews that were still in Egypt. We know that Egyptians are black people, don't we?
Right.
And this is where the Lord had Jesus go down into Egypt, right?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and read.
And in the parts of Libya.
Stop right there, Libya. This is an African country right here. Libya. We just read, that's one of Ham's son, eh? Go ahead and read.
About Cyrene and strangers of Rome, Jews and proselytes, Cretes and Arabians, we do hear them speak in our own tongue the wonderful works of God.
Now, I brought you here for a reason. Like I said, you had Israelites in some African countries already that had migrated to some African countries. So now we're going to go to, we're going to go to Luke first. We're going to Luke the 21st chapter. Luke 21. And then we need that slide coming up, the destruction of Jerusalem after this one. Well, let's pull it up now. Let's pull it up now. We're going to Luke the 21st chapter. And this was the time of the destruction of our homeland, which is Jerusalem. This is our homeland. And I'm going to show you, by the time we get out of here, we're going to show you that it's going to be a second exodus back to Jerusalem. Back to Jerusalem. Now, we're at 21, and we're going to pick it up at verse, pick it up at verse 20. Go ahead and read it.
And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. And let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out. And let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled.
Now, you might look at this picture and say, well, those people right there don't look black. Well, this is the wrong depiction of the children of Israel right here. And that's what we're going to show you. This is the wrong depiction. Although this is similar to what happened, but this is the wrong people though. Everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Go ahead and read.
But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people.
Wrath upon the children of Israel. The Lord is coming to destroy this country. He's coming to destroy Jerusalem. Go ahead and read.
They shall fall by the edge of the sword, shall be led away captive into all nations.
Now stop right there. Because I know that went by people like a bullet. He said, the children of Israel, they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and they shall be led away captive into what? All nations.
Yes, sir.
All nations. And we're going to show you how the children, because they didn't have no planes and stuff back then, did they? The best you could get back then was a ship. That was the main mode of transportation back then. So he said, they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captive into all nations.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Now, this is the destruction of Jerusalem. And so now we're going to go to the Atlas of the Bible and we're going to read about this destruction of Jerusalem. We're going to the Atlas of the Bible, and we're going to page, we're going to start, let's just start, but we ain't going to read all, let's just start, go ahead, right there, and read what's in yellow. Turn to the next page too. All right, so this is the time of the destruction of our homeland. Go ahead.
In 68, the Roman commander launched a methodical campaign to isolate Jerusalem. The overthrow and suicide of the Emperor Nero brought operations in Judea to a temporary halt as Vespasian prudently withdrew to test the imperial winds. Eventually, he himself was declared emperor, sailing for Rome in the spring of 70. He left his capable son Titus in charge of the campaign against Jerusalem. Titus faced a formidable task. Jerusalem was the most heavily fortified city of that time. The walls enclosing the temple
What you just got through seeing right there on that picture. What you just got through seeing on that slide. This is what we're reading about. Go ahead. So this is the beginning, really, of our end. This is the beginning of our end. Go ahead and read.
The walls enclosing the temple and upper and lower cities were the most formidable barriers of all. Postponing an all-out assault, Titus turned to starvation tactics. A certain amount of food had been smuggled into the city almost nightly during the siege. But now the Romans sealed off Jerusalem completely with a wall of their own.
Do you know we can read about this, and we ain't gonna read it today. We go in Luke the 19th chapter, and Jesus told them that there was gonna be the city was gonna be compassed about, and everybody's gonna be locked in. And the same thing we read about it in history. This happened some 40 years later after Jesus prophesied this. But go ahead and read.
Made of earth and some 5 miles in circumference. From the outset of the siege, those attempting to get through the encircling line had been caught and crucified. Sometimes the daily executions reached 500.
Now, 500 a day were dying in Jerusalem in 70 AD at this time. And these are our people that were dying at this time. Go ahead and read.
The crosses were never bare. Inside the city, starvation and disease claimed a mounting toll. Bodies filled the streets and were stacked in houses. Thousands of corpses were thrown from the walls into the valleys below. The surviving rebels made a last-ditch stand within Herod's palace. The battering rams resumed their rhythmic work. When the legionnaires at last broke into this refuge, they found only corpses.
They found only corpses. Why? Because the children of Israel, rather than go into captivity with these Gentiles, they just killed themselves. They killed themselves. Go ahead.
Herod's palace and the rest of the upper city were put to torch. Jerusalem was a city of the dead.
Jerusalem was a city of the dead. Now we are reading about our black history.
Yes, sir.
But we're going to bring you some more, though. We're going to bring you some more. You done with that? No, we ain't going to read that part. Now, so like I told you earlier, we had some people that were in some African countries already, right? So now we're just going to slip this in here real quick. We're going to read that next page right there. Yeah, we're going to read that. Let's get that next slide up. All right. Now these are, just read that right there, then down there.
Descendants of Dan.
Now, these people right here are descendants of Dan. And that's one of the 12 tribes of Israel. We read about it earlier, right? So these people right here claim to be descendants of the tribe of Dan. Go ahead, read that.
It destroyed my faith, he says. We were Jews for 3,000 years.
Stop right there. He said we were Jews for 3,000 years. Now that will put them 1,000 years before Jesus.
Yes, sir.
Because we're around the 2000 mark now of Jesus, right? During his time.
Yes,
but now these people say we have been Jews for 3,000 years, which put them 1,000 years before Jesus.
Yes, sir.
But we are looking at black people right here, though, aren't we?
Indeed.
And then, I'm going to show you something else. Go ahead and read.
That's why I came here. This country has been in existence for 50 years.
Now he's talking about, y'all remember that back in the 80s? A lot of us are old enough to remember back in the 80s when those Ethiopian Jews were taken from Ethiopia and taken to Jerusalem or Israel. First they called it Operation Moses, then they called it Operation Solomon. Back in the 80s when the Ethiopians were over there starving. They said, you know what, we gotta get these Israelites, we gotta get these Jews out of here. But then when they went over there to get them, they were the ones that call themselves Jews now, when they went over there to get them, they kept calling them Jews. They said, we're not Jews. We are from the tribe of Dan. We are Israelites. We're not Jews. Jews come out of Judah. We're from the tribe of Dan. then they had records going back for 3,000 years showing that they were Jews. And so the ones that call themselves Jews, they was like, well, y'all are brothers, when they are, but they not. Go ahead.
How do they have the right to decide who is Jewish?
Now they saying, look, we've been Jews for 3,000 years. How do these people that's over here in Israel, they only been a country for 50 years, how do they have the right to say who are Jews and who are not Jews? Go ahead.
To say that only whites are Jews.
To say that only white people are whites are Jews. They said we've been Jews for 3,000 years. If anybody gonna say they Jews, we are. But we are from the tribe of Dan, though. We are not Jews. We're going to go now and we're going to read about another. We're going to show you some DNA now. We're going to show you some DNA. Because a lot of people say, well, you know, some people believe DNA, don't they? Now we're going to read you some DNA. Now let's show the next slide up. Now, these are Jews from the Limba tribe and from Timbuktu. These are in Africa. This is the Limba tribe. Now, they had DNA tested. We're going to read it. Go ahead and read what's highlighted.
New York Associated Press. Genetic tests on the Limba people of southern Africa show convincing evidence the Bantu-speaking tribe may be of Jewish ancestry.
Oh, see, you know, these are well-kept secrets.
Yes, sir.
These people right here have been claiming to be Jews. And so geneticists went over there and said, okay, let's see. And went and took their DNA and found out, wait a minute. Just like you saw that guy Harry up there, that rabbi up there, and say, wait a minute. These people got a point here. We better take a closer look at this. Just like they claim to be Jews, we are too. But we're going to show you we are Jews too. And you know what? And if anybody from the tribe of Judah, we are. I know my sister's happy to hear that. Because they were sick when I told them, oh, we might not be from the tribe of Judah. They were sick. So when I went back and did a little research, I found out that if anybody is from the tribe of Judah, we are. And I'm going to show you. But go ahead and read some more.
A team of geneticists have discovered that Limba men carry a DNA sequence that is distinctive to the Kohanim, a hereditary set of Jewish priests, the descendants of Aaron, the elder brother of Moses.
Oh, these Limba tribe, these men right here, their DNA goes back to Aaron's brother Moses. And Moses was a Levite, wasn't he?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Aaron was too, wasn't he? Yes, sir. From the tribe of Levi, the priest. Now I know when once the Edomite Jews, because that's who they are, once they found that out, I know they had to let that idea go about, well, we the Jews. Because we had the people, the Ethiopian Jews, they said we've been Jews for 3,000 years. Now these people right here in Africa said we are Jews. And not only are we Jews, we from the tribe of Levi, the priest. Man, this thing's freaking get deep in a minute. Y'all just hold on. Hold on 1 minute. Let's go now. Let's go. We're going to show that next slide. We're going to show that next slide. Now look at this right here. No, it's Judah. We're going to show the Judah. You don't see the Judah? Okay, well, I'll just tell you about it. I'll tell you what, all those that can see, and when you get a chance, feast your eyes on this picture right here. Right here, we have a map from West Africa. We got Yes, okay, this is it. This is a map from West Africa that was designed by a choreographer called Emmanuel Boeing around the 1700s. This he dubbed Negro Land. Now, wait a minute now. Ham is the father of the African race, but not the Negroes. But this guy right here called this land, which is in West Africa, Sierra Leone over here. Here's the slave coast right here. Here's the Gold Coast right here. And here is Judah.
Yes, sir.
Right here. Right above the slave coast in West Africa. Does everybody, well, I know you can't see it right now, but once you walk over there, you'll be able to see the picture. This is Judah right here, just above the slave coast where they were trading slaves right here. This is in the Africa, and they weren't no white Jews like you see today. These were black people that they were trading as slaves, that were calling themselves Judah. Let's go now. Let's go and show you. Let's unfold this story a little bit, Wayne, Brother Ozias. Let's go to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, because I know everybody was waiting on it. Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and we're going to pick up at verse 1. Let's show you what happened. We know that Jerusalem, the children of Israel got carried out of Jerusalem in 70 AD. But you know, the Lord didn't just punish Israel or the Jews in 70 AD because of what they done at that time. Then our history goes all the way back to Abraham. And now we're going to take you back some. We're going to take you back during the time of Moses and show you why we're in this country, in the shores of America today. We're going to take you back a little bit. We had Deuteronomy 28, pick it up at verse 1. Deuteronomy 28 and 1. Go ahead and read it.
And it shall come to pass, thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day. The Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Now look, the Lord was going to set the children of Israel on high above all the nations of the earth. Go ahead and read.
And all these blessings shall come on thee, and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field.
Go ahead.
Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, and the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out. The Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way, and flee before thee 7 ways. The Lord shall command the blessings upon thee in thy storehouse.
All right, so now, wait a minute. So he said, if you keep my commandments, I'm going to bless you. Bless everything you do, Israel. I'm going to make you above all the nations of the earth. I'm going to bless you. Everything you do. Right now, are we getting blessed? We're on the bottom of the totem pole, aren't we? And we're going to show you why. Skip down to verse 15. Go to verse 15. Go ahead.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Now, if you don't keep my commandments, I'm going to curse you. If you keep my commandments, I'm going to bless you. If you don't, I'm going to curse you. Go ahead and read.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body.
So curse, curse, curse. Now look at what he's going to say now. Skip to verse 25. Go ahead.
The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth.
Wait a minute. He said you're going to be removed. Remove me, somebody going to come and get you. You ain't going on your own. Somebody going to take you.
Yes, Yes, sir.
And you're going to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. Isn't that what Jesus said? That Israel, you're going to be led away captive into all nations?
Yes, sir.
Now Moses had already told you, say you're going to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. We're going to show you. Now, common sense, back during this time, common sense would tell you how they had to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. They didn't have no planes back then, did they? They didn't have no cars and all that stuff, did they? So how could a people be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth? And notice something. You talk about a people that's called Negro on the same continent as the Africans, right? And the Lord and the children of Israel, they were on the same continent as the Africans. And the Lord said, look, you're going to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. And we know that we were removed from the African continent, weren't we?
Yes, sir.
And we're not no Hamites or no African people, are we?
No.
What happened to the Israelites? When were they removed? If the Israelites are the ones that we call Jews today, then when were they removed into all the kingdoms of the earth? When? And that's a hell of a coincidence that you got a black people on the same continent that was removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. That's not African people. Go ahead and read. What verse you at?
I ended verse 25.
Read that again.
The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth.
Skip to verse 41. Skip to verse 41.
Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them. For they shall go into captivity.
They shall go into captivity. Now, since he told them that, let's go find out, was Israel cursed or were they blessed? Let's go now. Let's go to Daniel the 9th chapter, Daniel 9. Let's find out, were they cursed or were they blessed? Is it getting warm in here?
Yeah, it is.
Daniel 9. Daniel the 9th chapter. Let's find out, were the children of Israel, were they blessed or were they cursed? Daniel 9, pick up at verse 4. Daniel 9 and 4. Go ahead and read it.
And I prayed unto the Lord my God, and made my confession, and said, O Lord, the great and dreadful God, keeping the covenant and mercy to them that love him, and to them that keep his commandments. We have sinned.
We have sinned. Remember, the Lord told him, look, if you keep my commandments, I'm going to bless you. But if you don't keep my commandments, I'm going to curse you. Now Daniel tell you, we have sinned. So what happened to them then? They were cursed.
That's right.
Well, let's read it. Go ahead.
And have committed iniquity, have done wickedly, and have rebelled, even by departing from thy precepts and from thy judgments.
Go ahead.
Neither have we hearkened unto thy servant the prophets, which spake in thy name to our kings, our princes, and our fathers, and to all the people of the land.
Skip down to verse 9. Skip down to verse 9. Go ahead.
To the Lord our God belong mercies and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against him.
Though we have rebelled against him. Go ahead and read.
Neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord our God, to walk in his laws, which he has set before us by his servants the prophets.
See, that's what our whole problem was then, and that's what our whole problem is now. Our people don't want to keep God's laws and his commandments. That's what our problem was then, and that's what our problem is now. Notice all the things that's going on in our communities now. I don't care if you are Baptist, I don't care if you're Islam or Muslim, I don't care if Buddha, Hindu, I don't care about none of it. But these things that we're going to show you today, this has happened to our people. Whatever religion you want to call yourself. And we showing you today that you are an Israelite now. That's who you are first.
Yes, sir.
Before you want to become a Muslim and Buddha and all those other religions. You are an Israelite. What verse you at?
11.
Go ahead.
Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us.
Therefore the curse is poured upon us. I remember when I was 16 years old, I used to tell my friends, look man, we cursed. I didn't know nothing about this. I just knew the name Jesus. I didn't know nothing about no Bible, about understanding the Word of God. I used to tell my friends, man, we cursed. Something's wrong with our people. All these things are happening to us, and God allowed it. And why he just singled us out?
Right.
Out of all other people come over here on this continent, on this country, and they set up businesses and they communities flourish. But look at our communities though. We got guns and drugs and all of that's in the Bible too though.
Yes, sir.
We just can't read you everything today though. But you come over to Israel's Church of the Living God and you will see and you will find out, and we could go deeper into this. You'll find out that we are the children of Israel. This don't fit nobody but us. Go ahead and finish that verse 11.
And the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God.
So now the curse has been poured upon the children of Israel. Because if you keep my commandments, I'm going to bless you. If you don't, I'm going to curse you. And so we have been cursed. I know you've been wondering, why is all, especially the older people, why are all these things happening to us like this in our people? Didn't know that, look, it's been sitting on your dresser or whatever, collecting dust, our history right here in the Bible. All these years, we didn't know. Go ahead and read.
Because we have sinned against him.
Because we have sinned against him. Our God is God. This is the true and living God. There's only one God that created this earth. Buddha didn't create this earth. Islam, Allah, he didn't create this earth. Even in their Quran, they tell you that the word of God was given to the children of Israel.
Yes,
and our God is God, the true and living God. He must be, because look at us. We read about ourselves right here in the Bible.
Right.
And it has happened to us. But go ahead, read that verse 12. Go ahead.
And he hath confirmed his word.
He hath confirmed his words,
which he spake against us, and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil.
He brought upon us what?
A great evil.
A great evil. Go ahead.
For under the whole heaven has not been done, as hath been done upon Jerusalem.
Now I can say, for under the whole heaven has not been done, has been done to this Negro. Because look around, look at our history. Nobody else, none of these things that have happened to us has happened to anybody else. I'm talking about as a people. As a people. Now, this phase that we're going into right now is called the Arab Edomite, which are the so-called Jews, right? Slave trading network. Slave trade, because that's the name of the program today. The Captivity of the Black Man, all the way to the second Exodus, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's what we're dealing with, really. We're dealing with this captivity that this black man has been put in. So this part right here is called the Arab Edomite Jewish Slave Trading Network. Because it was this thing was, first they was trading blacks or slaves on the African continent. Then they started trading them in Asia. Then they started trading them in Europe. Then they came to America. But we're going to show you that was written in the Bible too. Everybody ready to take this journey with me? Let's go to Psalms the 83rd chapter, because I said the Arab Edomite Jewish slave trade network. So let's go to Psalms 83rd chapter. Psalm 83. Psalm the 83rd chapter, and we're going to pick it up at verse 1. Psalm 83 and 1. Go ahead and start reading that.
Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Now they say, you know, let's cut them off. You understand that the name of Israel, but who besides us Israelites in the room call us Israelites? Nobody else, right? They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation that the name of Israel may be no more remembrance. Go ahead and read.
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
Go ahead.
The tabernacles of Edom.
Stop right there. Who is Edom?
So far.
You ever heard of Edomites? You ever heard of Esau, which is Jacob's twin brother? Those are the Edomites. And who are the Edomites? The ones that's calling themselves Jews today. That is our twin brother. That's our twin brother. We are Jacob. Jacob had the 12 tribes of Israel, and Esau had his 12 sons too. But Esau took on our identity. And he's calling himself a Jew today, or Jewish. Or if you want to say Israeli, which is Israelite, you understand? He took on our identity. What verse you at? He said the tabernacles of Edom, right? Who else was it?
And the Ishmaelites.
Stop right there. Who are the Ishmaelites? Those are the Arabs.
Yes, sir.
Go look up Ishmael in your encyclopedia, and you will see that those are the father, Ishmael is the father of the Arabs. So now, who are we talking about now? We're talking about the ones that call themselves Jews, and we're talking about the Arabs. Everybody following with me so far? Read that verse 6 one more time.
The tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes.
And the Hagarenes, we're going to stop right there. So we just want to concentrate on the Edomites and the Ishmaelites, which are the Arabs and the so-called Jews, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, we're gonna read something right here. We're gonna read the Arab slave in West. First, we're gonna read about in West Africa. Go ahead, read that.
West Africa was part of a major trading network long before the arrival of Europeans.
Wait a minute. You can read that one more time.
West Africa was part of a major trading network long before the arrival of Europeans.
West Africa was a part of a major trading network. Look at what they were trading.
From ancient times, there were trade routes across the Sahara linking the north and west of the continent. Camel caravans. Y'all know who ride on the camels, don't you? Yes, sir.
The Arabs. Camel, and you see them right here, don't you? Riding on the camels right there. Go ahead and read.
Camel caravans took salt, copper, horses, and other goods south to West Africa and brought gold, ivory, cola nuts, hides, grain, and slaves back to the north. Slaves
back to the north. And slaves. So now these Arabs, just like we read in the Bible, let us cut them off from being a nation, the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites. Now we got these Arabs. Remember the Lord said, look, you're going to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth, didn't he? But we still on the African continent. And look, they're being traded on the African continent by the Arabs. These are Arabs right here, and these are black slaves right here with chains on their necks. Here's some more Arabs right here with slaves right here being led away captive. Just like Jesus said, you're going to be led away captive in all nations. But we're still on the African continent right now, aren't we? Because, you know, you never really hear about the trans-Saharan slave trade or Mohammedan slave trade. You never hear about that. You always hear about the transatlantic slave trade. But do you understand understand that the Arabs had us in slavery the longest? They traded us as slaves for 1,400 years. Now, why ain't nobody saying nothing about that? They always talking about the white man this and the white man this. Look, our own uncle right here traded us as slaves for 1,400 years. And this is our uncle. Everybody understand what I'm saying? So now, the Arabs were trading slaves on the African continent. Then they moved to Europe, Asia, America. But hold on, because he had a partner. Because I said the Arab, Edomite, Jewish slave trading network, right? So we know that the Portuguese came and all that too. But we want to concentrate on these two because the Bible don't say Portuguese. It just talks about Edom, and it talks about which are the so-called Jews and the Arabs. All right, now let's go. Now we're going to Judah, the slave port. We're going to the slave port. Now, this is a slave port that was called Judah. These people right here were being traded at this slave port right here. And the people that were being traded, it says that infamous Judah or Oyada slave port in Benin, West Africa, from which millions of African slaves were scattered to the four corners of the earth. Millions. But how did they get scattered though? They didn't swim, did they? They didn't have no planes and stuff at this time, did they? So how did they get to these different countries? Well, we're going to show you. Let's go now. Because now we're going to move into from Africa to the America, the triangle trade. The triangle trade. Is everybody following me so far?
Yes, sir.
I hope I'm not boring anybody.
No, sir.
We going to the triangle trade right here, right? You got it? Go ahead and start reading that.
This map shows why the slave trade was also known as the triangular trade. On their journeys between Europe.
On their journey, now remember now, we're talking about a worldwide captivity. Everybody understand? We're dealing with a worldwide captivity now. So he said on their route to read that again.
On their journeys between Europe, Africa, and America.
On their journey from Europe, Africa, and America. Now we already see them in Africa now. Now we're on the European continent. A worldwide slave trading network. We went from Africa to Europe to America, but we had another continent that we got to put in there a little later. Read that again.
On their journeys between Europe, Africa, and America, slaving ships traveled a triangular path around the Atlantic Ocean.
They traveled a triangular path around the Atlantic Ocean. That's a long way from home, ain't it? That's a long way from home. Now, we're going to show you how many went to Europe. Because millions of them came out of there, didn't they? Millions of them. Let's show you how many went into Europe. Go ahead and read that.
According to the most accurate estimates of modern historians, at least 24 million Africans were captured to satisfy the European demand.
At least 24 million slaves were taken into Europe. 24 million. That sounds like a nation of people right there, don't it? 24 million people? But hold on, because we're going to show you who was a culprit in this. We already know the Arabs, right? Go ahead and finish that.
Millions of them died from hunger and disease even before they reached the coast.
Millions of them died. You see everybody, well, I ain't gonna say everybody because of the young people, and most of us seen, older people seen Roots, right? In fact, it just came on. You see how they was throwing them over the ships and stuff? They were sick and everything, or dying, or had died already. They threw them over the ships. Millions of them died before they even reached the coast of Europe or the coast of America. You finished that?
No.
Go ahead.
But millions more had to endure the terrible sea crossing to the Americas.
Now, let's go now. Let's go to, we're going to go right here. We're going to go to the Jewish slave trader. The Jewish slave trader. And let's see this guy. Look at who was the Jewish slave trader right here. Let's go to that next slide. Okay. Now, this guy right here, name is Aaron Lopez, a slave owner. Now you say Lopez, that means he must be Hispanic then. No, that ain't what that means. We're going to show you who this is right here. Go ahead and read about it.
Aaron Lopez, 1731 to 1782. Born Duarte Lopez, was a Jewish merchant and philanthropist.
Oh, whoa, you're going too fast now. What did he say? He was what?
A Jewish merchant and philanthropist.
He was a Jewish merchant and philanthropist. Jewish now. Go ahead. Now, wait a minute now. Israel's supposed to be the slave, aren't they? Now, but we got a Jewish slave owner right here now. Israel, this is supposed to be the Jew here, don't it? Well, how is he the captor and not the captives? Right. And we the captives.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and read.
He became the wealthiest person in Newport, Rhode Island.
Now, we could have read you a scripture over there where the Lord said, Israel, you gonna loan, the stranger gonna loan to you, but you're not gonna be able to loan to him. And guess who owns the loaning institutions? The ones that call themselves Jews. Who do you think started the Federal Reserve? Oh, I don't want to get too deep into this. Let's go ahead, man.
In British America. In 1761 and 1762, Lopez unsuccessfully sued the colony of Rhode Island for citizenship.
Now, turn that page. Yeah, read that, yeah.
Duarte Lopez was born in 1731 in Lisbon, Portugal. He belonged to a family of conversos who professed Catholicism.
Now look, they were saying they were professing Catholicism, but really they were Jews though. Go ahead.
While they continued to practice Judaism
in secret. But this guy was a captor, not the captive. And he a Jew. Go ahead and read.
Lopez was involved in the slave trade.
He was involved in the slave trade? A Jew? Because remember, we read that the ones that conspired against the children of Israel was who? Edom, which is a so-called Jew, and the Ishmaelites, which are the Arabs. And now we had the Arabs trading slaves on the African continent, didn't it? Then they started trading them into Europe. Then into America. But look who had the slave ships though. Go ahead and read.
Between 1761 and 1774, Lopez was involved in the slave trade. While the secret relationship between blacks and Jews described Lopez as Newport's leading participant in the Black Holocaust.
Wait a minute, the Black Holocaust? That's what we should be calling this. The Black Holocaust. Go ahead and read.
Historian Eli Faber determined Lopez underwrote 21 slave ships during a period in which Newport sent a total of 347 slave ships to Africa.
Now, so this guy right here had 20-something slave ships, but he is a Jew. An Edomite Jew. I'm just going to call him what he is, an Edomite Jew. Now, we're going to read just a few of these Jewish slave ship owners. It says Jewish control of American slavery because they were the slave ship owner, the Abigail, the Crown by Franks, Nassau, which was Isaac Levy and Nathan Simpson. Now look at this one. 4 sisters, Moses Levy. But these are the people that we today call Jews. And they're the ones who had the slave ships. Everybody following what I'm saying? Now, you know, right now, a bell should be going off in your head right now. A bell should be going off in your head right now. Because if these people had the slave ships, and the Lord said that Israel will be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth, then how could these people be the Jews? How could they be the Jews? And then you got this Negro that was removed into all the kingdoms on earth, and I'm going to show you how. That was on the same continent that the children of Israel were on, and were taken from slave ports that were called Judah. Come on, man. You ain't got to be no rocket scientist to figure this one out. And that's what we're dealing with today, the captivity, and we are dealing with our black history. Our black history. Where we at now? We're going to go to, because now we're going to come to America. We're going to come to America now. So turn that page. We're going to come to America now. So now we saw the triangle trade, didn't we? Now, let's come to, because we done went from Africa, we done went to Europe, now we get ready to come to America. We got one more we're going to come to in a minute. We're going to the slave trade. All right, I want you to read that topic right there. We're going to read this. All right, so now here we go. We get ready to come to America. So now we see who got the slave ships, right? The one that call themselves Jews. We see who was trading the slaves on the African continent, which was the Arabs, right? Now look, you think that a people, millions of people could be removed into all the nations of the earth in 100 years? That ain't gonna work. So it took at least 1,000 years for people to be removed into all the nations of the earth. And a guy was from Guatemala. We were at work, and he was showing me tourists. You know how they go to tourist attractions and everything, and he was showing me his country. I was like, man, there's some black people. He's like, man, don't you know the black people in all the world? I said, whoa. He said, there's black people in all countries, man. He knew this. It's just that our people don't know this. Our people don't know this. Go ahead, we're reading about America now. Go ahead.
Slave trade from Africa to the Americas, 1650 through 1860.
Now I want you to keep that in mind, that 1860. Keep that in mind. Go ahead and read.
Between 1650 and 1860, approximately 10 to 15 million enslaved people were transported from West Africa to the Americas.
From West Africa to the Americas. We saw that slave port, didn't we? In West Africa called what? Judah. So, and that's not the only port that the slaves came from. Some of them came from Ethiopia. Because finally, those Ethiopian people enslaved some of those Ethiopian Jews, some of those Danites. So now you got slaves coming from all over West Africa. And that's where they said we came from, right?
Yes, sir.
West Africa. Go ahead and read. How many?
Most were shipped to the West Indies.
Hold it now. Most were shipped. Shipped. Do you think that's a coincidence that they said shipped? That's not a coincidence. Because how could the children of Israel or this people be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth? That's not no coincidence.
Right.
He He said most of them were shipped to the West Indies. Go ahead.
Central America and South America.
And South America. Go ahead. That's it. So now, how many did it say though?
10 to 15 million.
10 to 15 million. So now, wait a minute now. We got 24 million. We got millions on the African continent. We don't know how many millions went on the African continent. We got 24 million that went in Europe. Now we got 10 to 15 million right here in the United States. Or on the American continent. Let's just say the American continent. 10 to 15 million slaves on the American continent. This thing is big, ain't it? That's why I call it the Arab Edomite Jewish slave trading network, because that's what it became. But you know what? God done this to us, though.
Make that plain.
God done this to us. Why? Because he said, look, if you keep my commandments, I'm going to bless you. If you don't, I'm going to curse you. And the children of Israel didn't keep his commandments, and what happened?
The curse.
And here we are.
Yes, sir.
Here we are. Now you got people claiming to be Jews or Israelites on the African continent. You got people on the European continent claiming to be Jews, and we just didn't show them to you. Because I know, you know, some of our Israelite brothers, they got them costumes on, be standing out there with the microphone. I can show you a video of some brothers in Britain standing there telling you that we Israelites. That's on the European continent, ain't it? Now, so now we got 10 to 15 million slaves here on the American continent. Now it said from 1650 to 1860 then they were being traded. Now let's read this right here, that next one right there. This is called Israel's flower. It's called the main Jewish immigration history, America. So the Jewish migration from Europe to America. Go ahead and read that.
The Jewish migration history, America started in 1860.
Wait a minute. In 1860, you mean during the time that they were migrating, these black slaves were being removed here?
Yes, sir.
In 1860? From 1650 to 1860? So while they were migrating, the ones that called themselves Jews were migrating, these black people, African Americans, were being traded here.
Yes, sir.
So we know, so now, if these people call themselves Jews, then what happened to the Israelites that were supposed to be traded on all continents or led captive to all nations? What happened to them? Go ahead and read some more.
In this year, 200,000 German Jews immigrated to USA. From 1882 to 1914, 2 million Jews migrate from Eastern Europe to USA. The Jewish immigration in the years 1882 to 1914 changed the Jews' history.
Now, does that sound like what Jesus said? Jesus said, you go Israel, you're going to be led away captive into all nations. These people right here migrate. Then Moses told you going to be removed into all the kings of the earth, didn't he? These people right here migrate. So that don't sound like the Jews of the Bible, do it?
Sure.
Let's go now. Let's show you how they were removed. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 chapter. Deuteronomy 28. Can we ask you to turn your phones off, please? Or put them on vibrate. Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28. And let's show you how they were removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. First, go ahead and read that again. Go to verse 25 and read that again. I ain't going to hold y'all long. Go ahead and read it.
The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them. And shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth.
And shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. Skip down to verse 48. Go ahead.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies which the Lord shall lead shall sin against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things.
I could have read you that. I could have read you this right here in a book called Slavery by Julius Lester. Said the slaves went out in the morning, they aroused them, woke them up early in the morning, before daybreak. Right? Say when they put together their food, which they had on it, a corn cake, a piece of bacon, pork, and a gorge of water.
Yes, sir.
And they would work in the fields all day. But get this, the entire gang was, most of the people that was in with them were entirely naked. You're going to serve your enemy in hunger, in thirst, and in want of all things, Israel.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and read.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Now you got that slide for the yoke of iron. Now look at this. He said, he shall put a yoke of iron about thy neck until thou be destroyed. Now look at these brothers with this guy got a tree trunk around his neck. they really wasn't intending him to go nowhere. But look, these men, these brothers, these slaves got yokes of iron about their necks. Just like the Bible, you know, we can show you down to the minute things of the Bible. We can show it to you in history.
Yes, sir.
Just like the Bible said. We can't show you everything today, though. Come on over to Israel's Church of the Living God and we'll show it to you. Zion, Illinois. What's that address? 2501 Deborah Avenue. Come and check us out. And we will elaborate more on this. Okay, what verse you at?
In the 48.
Go ahead and read.
Until he have destroyed thee.
The
Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
Now he said the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from afar. And they came all the way from West Africa to get us at this time, didn't they? Came from Portugal, came from the United States, because the Jews were staying right here. That guy right there, Aaron Lopez, was in Rhode Island or something, wasn't he? Go ahead and read.
From the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not
understand. When they came over to Africa to get us, we didn't know what they were saying. Only thing we knew was those whips and those chains. That's all our people knew. Then we understood what was going on, didn't we?
Yes, sir.
You going into captivity just like your God told you are. So y'all single file. Because y'all going into captivity like your God told you were. What verse you at?
50.
Go ahead and read it.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
So they didn't care how old you was when they brought you into slavery, whether you were old or young, a woman, a fit man, that's what they were looking for. But they didn't care though how old you were. They brought you over here and changed it. And skip down to verse 63 and let's see how they start bringing you over. Verse 63, go ahead and read it.
And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoiced over you to do you good, to multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you.
Go ahead.
To bring you to naught.
Now that's why I kept wondering why all these things happening to our people. Now I know why. Because as the Lord rejoiced over us to do us good, he rejoiced over us to destroy us. Why? Because our people wouldn't keep his law and his commandments. Now I ain't got to wonder why no more all these things are happening to us. We can show you about the killing that's going on in our community. We can show you that too in the Bible. Go ahead and read.
And ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
Now he said the Lord shall scatter thee among all people. And we have been scattered among all people, haven't we? Let's show you how we were scattered though. Keep reading.
From the one end of the earth even unto the other. There thou shalt serve other gods, neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Who is the people, the Jewish people, they don't serve everybody else's God, do they? Who is the ones that serving everybody's God? We are. We in Islam, we in Buddhists, we in the Baptists, we in the Methodists, we in, you name it, we in it. He said, you're going to serve other gods, wood and stone. Go ahead and read.
And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart.
Now, he said the Lord going to give you a trembling heart, Israel. Who's scared all the time? You hear that siren going on. Who's looking around all the time? We are. We ain't done nothing. We just scared, got that trembling heart. Go ahead and read.
And failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee.
Now you know this us, don't you? He said, thy life shall hang in doubt before thee. Whose life is always on the line? Come out your door and you know. Wondering if somebody gonna shoot you today. You can't, for kids, when I was little, we could go to the park and play jacks and all that type of stuff on the sidewalk, pitch the little pennies. Now you can't do that. Because our lives are hanging in doubt right now, aren't they? Young and old. Go ahead and read some more.
And thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life.
Go ahead.
In the morning thou shalt say, would God it were evening. And at evening thou shalt say, would God it were morning.
Man, I can't wait till the morning come. I can't wait till the morning come. Because these youngsters out here, boy, they acting crazy, aren't they? Go ahead and read.
For the fear of thine heart whither thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Stop right there. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again. What does Egypt represent? The house of bondage.
Yes, sir.
And the Lord shall bring thee into bondage again with what?
Ships.
Ships. How we get here?
Ships.
We got here on ships, didn't we? How did our people get to the European continent? Ships. How did our people get, we're going to show you, they got to the Asian continent on what? Ships. Just like the Bible said, I'm going to remove you, Israel, into all the kingdoms of earth. We don't know how many went on the African continent, do we? But we know around 24 million on the European continent, about 10 to 15 million on the American continent. You're going to be removed, Israel, into all the kingdoms of earth on ships. Read that one more time.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen.
And there you shall be sold unto your enemy for bondmen and bondwomen. Now, who got sold to their enemies for bondmen and bondwomen? We did. Look, I ain't just got to say, I can show it to you. Look at this right here. This is a slave sale. This is an auction right here. You see the auction here? It's calling for bids on this slave. You see the man, you see the wife, and you see the child, don't you? Just like the Bible said. He's going to take the young, the old. He don't care. The woman, the man, he's going to take you all, Israel. Go ahead and read that. The highlight.
Charlestown, July 24th, 1769. To be sold on Thursday, the 3rd day of August. Next, a cargo of 94 prime healthy Negroes, consisting of 39 men, 15 boys, 24 women, and 16 girls.
Go ahead.
Just arrived in the Virgintine, Gambia, Francis bear martyr from Sierra Leone by David and John Diaz.
Now, so these slaves right here came from Sierra Leone. And it said in the Brigantine Denria, France, because when you look at this picture right here, I don't think we got that picture, do we, on the report? This picture right here, this is where France came to pick up their slaves right here in this compound right here. A slave compound. And you know what those slaves were called? Judah. And here we are reading about them bringing them to America right here, the French. And this is the compound where they got some of those Jews from. So if anybody is Jews, we are. I'm talking about from the tribe of Judah. Because you know, brothers used to say, well, no, we couldn't be from the tribe of Judah because we read something that in Joel that says, look, you have sold the Judah and Jerusalem to the Grecians. We're going to read that. Judah and Jerusalem to the Grecians. Grecians, those are the Greeks, right? In Europe. So how can we have, this is the slave compound right here. And these people, this is Fort White, that's Judah. And this is where the French came to get their slaves. These are black people right here, you see. These slaves right here. There's a Frenchman right there. And look where the Frenchman brought them to. Right here to America. And these people are called Judah. This compound right here. In West Africa. Everybody understand what I'm saying? This thing is deep, ain't it? The Bible is the Word of God. This is the Word of God we're reading about. And this is our black history that we read about. Everybody wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up. Because time is winding up. And we believe in Jesus. People think because we Israelites, we don't. But that is our Lord and Savior. Come on over to our church and you'll see it. That's our Lord and Savior. Now, let's go now. Because I don't want to hold y'all too long. Let's go now. Let's go to Leviticus, the 26th chapter. Leviticus 26. And we're going to pick it up at verse 14. Leviticus 26 and 14. Go ahead and read it.
But if ye will not hearken unto me, and will not do all these commandments, and ye shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgment, so that you will not do all my commandments, but that ye break my covenant, I also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror, consumption, and the burning ague, that shall consume the eyes and cause sorrow of heart. And ye shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it.
Go ahead.
And I will set my face against you.
Now you see that? So like I said earlier, God done this to us. He said, I will set my face against you. Why? Because our people broke his laws and commandments, and we still today let everybody else tell us from other nations that we ain't got to keep God's commandments. And here we are, the people of God, and we're supposed to be teaching everybody else, and everybody else been teaching us. Go ahead and read.
And ye shall be slain before your enemies.
And you shall be slain before your enemies. Why do you think our young men are dying in the streets now? Not only are we killing each other on the N-word, because, you know, they talk about Black Lives Matter. Okay, what about in our black communities? Don't Black Lives Matter then?
That's right.
There's more killing going on in our community than it is the Gentile or the policeman killing.
That's right.
So now don't the Black Lives Matter in our communities? But he said you're going to be slain before your enemy. See, this ain't no plaything right here. God is real. And are we being slain before? We've been in this country for 400 years, and we have been slain each century from our enemies, right? Now the book say enemy. I didn't say that. So don't get mad at me. Brother Wayne read it.
Make it plain.
Ozias. He read that. So see him after. And you don't want to see me anyway because I got my brothers here. But anyway, so he said you're going to be slain before your enemies did. And that's what's going on in our communities now. We are being slain not only within, but from without. And they're getting away with it, aren't they?
Yes, sir.
Why do you think they're getting away with it? Because God said you're going to be slain before your enemy. Don't get it twisted now, because the people that's doing it, they got a punishment coming too.
That's right.
Make that plain.
So you don't think, because when the Lord never told the children of Israel, or told Nebuchadnezzar to take the children of Israel out of Jerusalem, he said, look, I want you to take them out of Jerusalem, but I want to get you
Yes,
too.
sir.
That's right.
And he's going to get them too. I'm not talking about just here in America. I'm talking about all over the world. You think the Arabs going to get away with this? You think Esau, the so-called Jew, gonna get away with this?
Just God.
You know, he got a right hand for us, he got a left hand for the stranger.
Real talk.
So ain't nobody gonna escape. That's why you have to believe in the Lord and follow his laws and his commandments and worship God. Because he is real. This ain't no plaything, is it? Right. We're reading about our history right here in the Bible. Go ahead, what verse you at?
Middle 17.
Uh-huh.
They that hate you shall reign over you.
Uh-huh.
Ye shall flee when none pursue it.
Go ahead.
And if you will not yet for all this hearken unto me, then I will punish you 7 times more for your sin.
I will punish you 7 times more, Israel, for your sin. Why do you think we go to jail more than anybody else? But I'm going to show you that too. Everybody else get a slap on the wrist. Oh, you Israel, you going to jail for 10 years. Because I'm going to punish you 7 times worse for your sins. Skip down to verse 21. Skip down to verse 21. Go ahead.
And if you walk contrary unto me, and will not hearken unto me,
go ahead.
I will bring 7 times more plagues upon you according to your sin.
He said, I'm going to bring 7 times more plagues on you according to your sin. Who got HIV more than anybody? We do. Don't you know that HIV is 50% among black people in this nation? It is 72% among the black females in this nation. And guess what? We only 13% of the population. But we can read you, we can go back to Deuteronomy and read you about the Lord said, I'm going to put these diseases on you. That's not written in this book, Israel. We could have read that too. Let's go now. Let's go to Isaiah the 5th chapter, Isaiah 5. We're almost there. Isaiah 5. We are almost there. I hope everybody is getting some understanding from this Black History lesson. I hope everybody is getting some understanding from this. And take it back to your family. Take it back to your friends, your relatives. Take it back to them and tell them about this. Get the DVD, order the DVD and show it to them. Order the CD and show it to them. And by the way, we wouldn't mind you donating too, because we do have a building fund. We wouldn't mind you donating. We had Isaiah the 5th chapter, verse 11, Isaiah 5 and 11. We're going to get that next slide going, Isaiah 5 and 11. Go ahead and read it.
Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink.
Now, who is that? Beat the liquor store open. That's what I'm saying. Beat the liquor store open. Standing outside, the gate still on the liquor store door. We stand out there, Israel stand out there waiting. Say they rise up early in the morning, don't they? Read that again.
Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink, that continue until night, till wine inflame them.
Keep reading.
And the harp, and the viol, the tabret, and pipe, and wine are in their feast. But they regard not the work of the Lord, neither consider the operation of his hand.
Are you regarding now the work of the Lord? Are you regarding now the operation of his hands? Does everybody see that we are the children of Israel?
Yes, sir.
If you see it, say amen. Amen. Go ahead and read.
Therefore my people are gone into captivity, because they have no knowledge.
Because they have no knowledge. Go ahead.
And their honorable men are famished.
Now let's get that slide up. Their honorable men are famished.
Which?
The one with the honorable man. The honorable men, and don't get it wrong now, because these still are brothers. We're not talking about them. He said, our honorable men are famished. I love Martin Luther King. But did he show you this?
No.
He didn't show us this, did he? I love Malcolm X. But did he show you this? He didn't show you this, did he? Why? Because they were famished for the word of God. They were famished for it. Good brothers, don't get me wrong, they did their thing. I don't know about the other two. But anyway, say our honorable men are famished. They're not teaching you this. They're not showing you our Black history. That's all they doing was, look, pass that pot so we can get that money. Got some of the largest churches known to man, these two right here. Got some of the largest churches known to man. You think they're going to pump some of that money back into the communities and start some businesses? So we can have some business in our community? So brothers won't be going around talking about, I'm going to go steal because I ain't got no job. If our black ministers with all these big churches would start pumping some money back in the community and set up some business in the community, then some of this stuff might stop. But then you got to follow this too, though.
Yes, sir.
You got to follow this. But they ain't doing that. Why? Because our own men are famished. And even the book says, look, Israel, your shepherds don't even pity you. Do they pity us? They don't pity us. Pass that pot. And don't come up in here if you ain't got over $100. And I know one preacher said, if you ain't riding no new car, expensive car, then don't park in my parking lot. Even got ATM machines set up in their churches. Because it's all about money now. It's not about learning what thus said the Lord. It's not about teaching our people who we are so we can get out of this mess that we in. Because we in a big mess, aren't we? And don't look like don't look like it's getting no better. Anybody see it getting any better? Looks like it's getting worse. And when the summertime comes, oh Lord. People, Israel, black folks just lose their mind in the summertime. What verse we at, brother?
End of 13.
Go ahead and read it.
And their multitude dried up with thirst. Therefore hell hath been large herself.
This is not talking about hell, the lake of fire. This is talking about a state of condition. This is what we talking about, a state. It has enlarged itself. It has gotten worse. We are in hell now, aren't we? The condition that we in hell. Go ahead and finish that.
And opened her mouth without measure, and their glory, and their multitude, and their pomp, and he that rejoiceth shall descend into it.
Let's go to Isaiah 42, Isaiah the 42nd chapter. Isaiah 42, we're going to get that next slide ready. We're going to move now. Isaiah 42, and we're going to pick it up at verse 42 and verse 18. Let's go get that next slide. Isaiah 42 and 18. Go ahead.
Hear ye deaf, and look ye blind, that ye may see. Who is blind but my servant, or deaf as my messenger?
Now look, our people are blind out to this fact what we showing you today, aren't we? We're blind to this, aren't we? Our people for the most part are blind to this. Go ahead and read.
Who is blind as he that is perfect?
I can't tell them nothing. You start telling somebody they Israel, black people they Israel, they go, I ain't no Jew. Go ahead and read it.
And blind is the Lord's servant, seeing many things, but thou observest not.
Go ahead.
Opening the ears, but he heareth not. The Lord is well pleased for his righteousness' sake.
Go ahead.
He will magnify the law.
He's going to magnify the law, and that's what our problem was, wasn't it? Keeping the law. Even today, our problem is keeping the law. Not Israel, but the rest of the Israelites. Keeping the law. Go into one of them churches today and see. They tell you ain't got to keep no law. Now, I ain't talking about nobody, but that's what they say. Go ahead and read.
He will magnify the law and make it honorable. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared and hold, and they are hid in prison houses.
And they are hid in prison houses. Let's get that prison house slide up there. We're going to read about the prison house. He said they are hid in prison houses. But I really ain't got to tell y'all who in the prison houses do it. We know who in the prison houses, don't we? Now go ahead and read that. That's it.
Racial relations are an important concern in U.S. prisons. Although about half the prison population is black.
Stop right there. Although about half of the prison population is what?
Black.
Black. It's in the blue bag right there. Get the blue bag. Okay. About half of the prison population is black. You think that's just a coincidence? You think every black person in jail, they done something? No. The Lord said you're going to be snared and hold, and you're going to be hid in prison houses. All right, we done with that, because we want to move. Let's move on. So now this part right here, this is the last part of it. We're going to call this part right here the second Exodus. So this is the last phase of it. This is the second Exodus. And we're going to blow through this mainly with scriptures. You can turn that this way. we're gonna blow through this with scripture. This is called the second Exodus. The captivity of the black man to the second Exodus. Because contrary to possibly, people don't think that our God is going to take us back to our country. We're going back to our country. Right. And the ones that's there now, they're going to get kicked out. Yes, been fighting over that land for 2,000 years. It don't belong to neither one of them. Don't belong to neither one of them. Let's go now. We're going to Jeremiah the 31st chapter, Jeremiah 31. Jeremiah 31, and we're going to read that verse 10. We're going to breeze on through these. Jeremiah 31 and 10. But I hope everybody got a good idea of what we're dealing with and who we're dealing with. We are dealing with the God of Israel and his people. And his people are us. And don't get me wrong, you can become a spiritual Jew too. You can, no matter what color you are. Or what nationality, you can become a spiritual Jew. He is not a Jew which is one outwardly, but one inwardly. We at Jeremiah 31 and 10. Jeremiah 31 and 10. Go ahead and read it.
Hear the word of the Lord, O ye nations.
Hear the word of the Lord, ye nations.
And declare it in the isles afar off and say.
See, he talking to the nations. You understand? Because Israel was dispersed among the nations, weren't they? Go ahead and read. Hear the word of the Lord, O ye nations.
He that scattered Israel will gather him.
He that scattered Israel, he is going to gather him. Don't you know the Lord going to come back and gather us one day? Yes. God is. Not 1948, when they went over there and claimed the land of Israel in Jerusalem, talking about the Jews back home. God didn't scatter them, neither did he gather them. But he scattered us, and he's going to gather us. Read that one more time.
Hear the word of the Lord, O ye nations, and declare it in the isles afar off, and say,
go ahead.
He that scattered Israel will gather him, and keep him as a shepherd doth his flock.
Now, he said, he that scattered Israel, he is going to gather him. Let's go to Joel. We're going to finish this up mainly with scripture. We're going to Joel, the 3rd chapter, Joel 3. And we're going to pick it up at verse 1. Joel 3 and 1. When you get it, go ahead and read it.
For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem.
See, he said, I'm going to bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, which means I'm going to gather them back together. Go ahead and read.
I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
You seen anything like this yet? You ain't seen him bring all nations down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, did you? Valley of Jehoshaphat, that's in the Middle East over there. When he getting ready to do this, he getting ready to wage war on this earth. It's going to be World War III when this happens. Go ahead and read.
And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel.
Oh, so he's going to plead with the nations, the one that have scattered the children of Israel, that the children of Israel, the nations that they've been scattered in. He said he's going to plead with them for my heritage, Israel, for my people, Israel. And you know what he's going to tell them? Like Moses told Pharaoh, let my people go. Let my people go. Go ahead and read.
Whom they have scattered among the nations.
Whom they have scattered among the nations. Go ahead and read.
And parted my land. And they have cast lots for my people. And I've given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine.
Don't you know that's what happened during slavery time? You know, the slave master, if he wanted to trade, he wanted some wine, he would go and take the slave girl and get some wine. If he wanted a harlot, he would go get the boy, get a little slave boy for the harlot. Everybody know what a harlot is, right? Go ahead and read.
Yea, and what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zion, and all the coast of Palestine?
Who's in Zion and Palestine right now? The one that calls himself Jews, and who? The Arabs.
Yes, sir.
They've been fighting over that land for 2,000 years, and they're still there. And he said, yea, and what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? Zidon, that's Jerusalem. And all the coast of Palestine. What's Palestine? That's Jerusalem too, ain't it? Or Israel, ain't it? And who's running the country, that land over there? The ones that call themselves Jews and the ones that call themselves Arabs. But he said, what you got to do with me? Because I'm fixing to get y'all. Go ahead and read.
Will ye render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own
He said,
head?
you know what? Y'all can't even pay me back for what you all have done to my people. You can't even pay me back for it. Go ahead and read.
Because you have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried it into your temple, my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians.
See, it's right there. So the children also of Judah and Jerusalem have you sold to the Grecians. Because some of the Jews went on slave ships where? To Europe. They didn't bring all the Jews here to America. Right. We just read some of them went to Europe, didn't we? That's right. Go ahead.
That ye might remove them far from their border.
That you might remove them far from their border. Now, what verse you stop at?
In the 6.
In the 6? Stop right there. We're going to read this real quick. Turn that page. Turn that page. We're going to read this real quick. Because I told you earlier, not only were they were being traded on the African continent, on the Europe continent, or the American continent, but we got one more continent to go. Go ahead and read that.
The background of slavery lies in a combination of precedent, ethnocentrism, and greed. During the 1500s and 1600s, slavery was a common institution.
Slavery was a common institution. Go ahead and read.
Slavery was practiced in Europe.
It was practiced in Europe.
Asia.
Asia. There you go. That's the continent we missing right there, Asia. I'm saying this for a reason. Europe, Asia,
Africa, and America.
And America. That's 4 continents we just read, right? Let's go back to Joel. Go back to Joel. Come on, let's move. Joel.
Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head.
Go ahead.
And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of the children of Israel.
Ooh, wait a minute. Whoa, you're going too fast now. He said, I'm going to sell your sons and daughters to who? The children of Israel. Uh-oh. Looks like we're going to start getting some slaves now. But this is what the Lord is saying now, so don't get mad at me. Go ahead and read.
And they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord hath spoken.
See, the Lord spoke this. Let's go now. Skip down to verse 14. Verse 14, go ahead.
Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened.
See, I'm just putting the Lord just putting a time frame on it. So he said, the sun and the moon shall be darkened. We ain't seen nothing like this happen.
No, sir.
This talking about end time prophecy. Go ahead and read.
And the stars shall withdraw their shining. The Lord also shall roar out of Zion.
The Lord is going to roar out of Zion. That's Jerusalem, baby. Go ahead and read what that next verse say.
And utter his voice from Jerusalem. And the heavens and the earth shall quake.
Go ahead.
The Lord will be the hope of his people.
But the Lord will be the hope of his people. Who are his people? The children of Israel. Go ahead and read it.
And the strength of the children of Israel.
And the strength of the children of Israel. See, this is what we talk about, this second Exodus now. So here comes the Lord now. He comes to save his people. Here comes the Calvary to come and get us. Let me show you. Let's go to Isaiah now. Isaiah 11 and 6. Isaiah 11 and 6. We ain't going to hold you much longer. Isaiah 11 and 6. When you get it, go ahead and read it.
The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb.
Now wait a minute. The wolf going to dwell with the lamb. Now, just think about that for a minute. A wolf dwelling with a lamb? That lamb going to be inside of that wolf, ain't it? Because he's going to eat that lamb up, ain't it? He said the wolf going to lay with them. This is where the Lord going to take the covenant off the beast, where they not going to kill no more. Because right now he put that covenant on that when they gonna shed your blood, you gonna shed theirs. So, but at this time, right, he ain't gonna be no more shedding the blood of the animals. He said, the wolf shall lie down with the lamb. Go ahead and read.
And the leopard shall lie down with the kid.
Go ahead.
The calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them.
Go ahead.
And the cow and the bear shall feed. Their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox.
Now he said the lion gonna eat straw like an ox. You take a lion some straw and take him a T-bone steak and see which one he gonna eat.
That's right.
He ain't gonna eat that straw, is he? But at this time right here, the lion is gonna eat straw like an ox. That is really something, man. Look what else gonna happen. Go ahead and read.
And the sucking, verse 8. And the sucking child shall play on the hole of the ass. And the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice's den.
You mean children gonna be able to play with snakes at this time? Children gonna play with snakes at this time. Go ahead and read.
It shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain. For the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord.
Now you know that's future, don't you?
Yes.
He said the earth gonna be full of the knowledge of the Lord. The earth ain't full of the knowledge of the Lord now, is it? You got all type of religions going on now, don't you?
Yes, sir.
He said, but this time the earth is going to be full of the knowledge of the Lord. So we're looking at future right here. Go ahead and read.
As the waters cover the sea. And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people.
That root of Jesse, that's Jesus. Go ahead.
To it shall the Gentiles seek. And his rest shall be glorious.
And his rest shall be glorious. That's why we keep the Sabbath day. The day of rest, the Sabbath day. Go ahead and read.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people.
He's going to set his hand a second time to recover the remnant of his people. Who are his people? The children of Israel, right? Go ahead and read.
Which shall be left from Assyria.
That's a black country. That's an African country right there. Assyria,
and from Egypt.
I mean, we know that's a black country now. It's not now, but it once was, or what?
Yes, sir.
And those people are still there. They just they're in submission right now, I should say. Go ahead and read.
And from Pathros.
And from Pathros, that's an African country right there.
And from Cush.
That's Ethiopia. You got some. We just saw about those Ethiopian Jews here. And we even know in our generation now there were some Ethiopian Jews who was taken out of Ethiopia, taken to Israel, weren't they?
Yes,
go ahead and read.
And from Elam.
Elam, that's a Shemite, which was black people. Because we know that the Shemites look just like the Canaanites, don't they? Go ahead and read.
And from Shinar.
That's Babylon. Go ahead.
And from Haman.
That's an African country. When I say Babylon, the first people that inhabited Babylon was Nimrod, which came out of Cush, which is Ethiopia. Now he said Hamath. That's an African country. Go ahead and read it.
And from the islands of the sea.
And from the islands of the sea. That's the Bahamas and everything. Because we had slaves that was taken to the Bahamas and everything, didn't we? Go ahead and read.
And he shall set up an ensign for the nation. And shall assemble the outcast of Israel.
Now, wait a minute. Now, he said he shall set up an ensign for the nations. That's more than one nation now.
Yes, sir.
Right? Go ahead and read.
And gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth.
From the what? Four corners of the earth. We just got to read about the slaves was transported, or the slavery was in Africa. It was in America. It was Asia and Europe. And now he's telling you he's going to recover the children of Israel from where? The four corners of the earth.
Yes.
This Bible for real, ain't it?
Yes.
Didn't know all this was in here, did you?
Right. Amen.
Said he gonna gather children of Israel from the four corners of the earth. Now, we're going to read you something right here. It's Ham. We're going to read you about Ham again. This is a National Encyclopedia right there. They turn the page for a little bit more.
Ham, the third son of Noah. According to tradition, Ham had four sons. Cush, Mizraim.
Cush is Ethiopia. Mizraim, that's Egypt.
Put and Canaan.
Put That's Libya and the Canaanites, right?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Canaan became the ancestor of the tribes of Phoenicia and Palestine. The other 3 sons, grandsons of Noah, migrated southward and peopled the African continent.
Oh, so Ham's children are the natives of the African continent. Go ahead and read.
However widespread
the custom,
it is not correct to speak of a Negro as a son of Ham.
Ooh, it is not correct to speak of a Negro. Who the Negroes? Y'all ain't got to be scared to say it. It is not correct to call the Negro the son of Ham. So we got all of these black people that was on the African continent, dispersed on slave ships that are not the sons of Ham, that are not Africans. So what happened to the Israelites then? You looking at them, a room full of them.
Yes, sir.
Hallelujah.
You looking at us. Let's go now. Let's go. So we're going to read this right here real quick. I'll tell you what. Let's see if we're going to read this. Because I don't want to take up really no more time. Yeah, we're going to skip this right here. Let's go down. Let's go to, because we got 2 more. We're going to go to Ezekiel 36. We got 2 more. Y'all still with me? Yes, Ezekiel 36. Ezekiel 36, and we're going to pick it up at verse 8. Ezekiel 36 and 8. Go ahead.
But ye, O mountains of Israel, shall shoot forth your branches and yield your fruit to my people of Israel.
Oh, you said you Israel, but ye, O mountains of Israel, ye shall shoot forth your branches and yield your fruit to my people Israel. Why?
For they are at hand to come.
For they are at hand to come. They are at hand to come. So who are those people over there that's calling themselves Jews then if Israel's at hand to come? I'm going to leave them alone. Go ahead, brother.
For behold, I am for you. I will return unto you.
He said, I will return unto you. But remember now, you got to turn back to him because you walk contrary to him. He's going to walk contrary to you, right? But he said, I will return unto you.
And ye shall be tilled and sown. And I will multiply men upon you. All the house of Israel.
Oh, wait a minute. He said, I will multiply men upon you. All the house of Israel. Right now, you got Jews over there in the land of Israel. You got Jews in New York. You got some in Chicago. You got a few over here in Europe. And you got them all over the place now a little bit, now don't you? He said, I'm going to return you to your land. Go ahead and read.
Even all of it.
Even all of it. Go ahead and read.
And the city shall be inhabited, and the waste shall be builded.
Go ahead.
And I will multiply upon you man and beast. They shall increase and bring fruit.
Go ahead.
And I will settle you after your old estate.
He said, I'm going to settle you after your old estate. Go ahead and read.
And will do better unto you than at your beginning.
I'm going to do better than you than at your beginning. Which means he's going to treat us better than he treat our fathers.
Yes, sir.
You know, the ones that sinned against them, they got us into this mess.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and read.
And ye shall know that I am the Lord. Yea, I will cause men to walk upon you, even my people Israel.
He talking about walking back on the land now. Yes, he going to bring children of Israel back to their land. He said all of it,
And they shall possess thee. Thou shalt be their inheritance. And thou shalt no more henceforth bereave them of men.
That land still being bereaved of men right now, isn't it?
That's right.
People dying over there. Every day can't jump in the car and strap a bomb to him and run into a crowd. So that nation still being bereaved of men. Skip down to verse 18. Go ahead.
Wherefore I poured my fury upon them for the blood that they had shed upon the land, and for their idols wherewith they had polluted it.
See, that's why he done this to us. Because we shed the blood of the land, and we polluted the land with idols. Go ahead and read.
And I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the country.
Go ahead.
According to their way and according to their doings, I judged them.
He said, according to their ways, according to their, because he said, if you keep my commandments, I will bless you. If you don't, I must curse you, right? So he judges according to our ways. Skip down to verse 24, go ahead.
For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all the countries and will bring you into your own land.
Ooh. He's going to bring us back to our own land. I hope I'm alive to see this. I hope I'm alive to see this. Go ahead and read.
Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you. You shall be clean. From all your filthiness and from all your idols will I cleanse you.
Go ahead.
A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you. And I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I will give you a heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit within you, cause you to walk in my statutes, and ye shall keep my commandments and do them.
Now you're going to keep the commandments and do them. Go ahead and read.
And ye shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers.
And you shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers. What land is that? The land of Israel. Go ahead and read.
And ye shall be my people, and I will be your God.
You shall be my people, and I will be your God. Hallelujah. Yeah. Hallelujah. We wait on this day, man. We wait on this day. We go to Zechariah the 8th chapter, Zechariah 8, and we're going to pick up at verse 20. Zechariah 8 and 20. We just got one more to go after this. Zechariah 8 and 20. Go ahead and read it.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, it shall yet come to pass that there shall come people and the inhabitants of many cities.
Go ahead.
And the inhabitants of one city shall go to another, saying, let us go speedily to pray before the Lord and to seek the Lord of hosts. I will go also. Yea, many people and strong nations shall come seek the Lord of hosts in Jerusalem and to pray before the Lord.
You see where they come to seek the Lord at in Jerusalem? Go ahead and read.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, in those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take hold out of all languages.
10 men shall take hold of the skirt of him which is a Jew and say, take me with you, because the Lord is with you. Keep reading.
Even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, saying, we will go with you, for we have heard that God is with you.
Have you seen anybody fall around behind the ones who call themselves Jews?
No, sir.
He said 10 men out of every nation will grab hold of the skirt of him which is a Jew and say, take me with you, for the Lord is with you. We ain't seen nothing like this happening. You're going to be popular then, Israel. Let's go to the last one, Isaiah 14, Isaiah 14. I'm glad y'all hung in there with me. Isaiah 14, hope I didn't keep y'all too long. Isaiah 14 and verse 1. Go ahead and read it.
For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel.
He's going to have mercy on Jacob and yet choose Israel. That's us saying.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and read.
And set them in their own land.
And set them where? In their own land. Go ahead and read.
And the stranger shall be joined with them.
Now wait a minute now. The stranger is going to be joined with the children of Israel in their own land. Go ahead and read.
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place.
Go ahead.
And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord.
Wait a minute, stop right there. You see that? And the house of Israel will possess them. Possess who? Keep reading.
For servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives whose captives they were. They shall rule over their oppressors.
They going to do what? They going to take them captives whose captives they were. So we're going to be on the top end. Because even Jesus even told you the first going to be last and last going to be first.
Yes, sir.
He said, the ones that held you captive, Israel, they going to be your captives now. And they were the one, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel possessed them in the land of the Lord for service and for handmaid, and they shall take them captives whose captives they were. Go ahead and read.
And they shall rule over their oppressors.
And they shall rule over their oppressors. That is really something to look forward to. We're on the bottom now. We're going to be on the top at this time. Everybody understand? That's why we keep the Sabbath. That's why we serve the God of Israel. That's why we serve him. So one day we're going to be on top. Verse 3, go ahead.
It shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow.
He's going to give us rest from our sorrows,
and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve.
In the hard bondage wherein we were made to serve. So there you have it. From the captivity of the black man to the second Exodus. I thank everybody and thank you for coming out. Thank you. Praise God. Praise the Lord. Oh, we got a raffle coming or something.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. Yes, yes. Let's get his brother another round of applause.
Praise God.
All right. Okay. All right. Right now we got our 50-50 raffle deal. Yeah. Well, see Miss Russell in the back for whatever she just said. She's got some raffle going back there. Okay, you'll tell them when they get back there. 6 tickets, something like $5 or something like that. But nevertheless, we want to thank everybody for coming out. I want to thank all the participants. We couldn't have pulled it off without you guys. Thanks to the House of Jacob, Milwaukee, as well as Chicago. I just wanted to say a few things before we close out here. Hey, can I get my phone there? Real quick, my phone on that desk? No, it's the one up under there. Yeah, so I just wanted to say that's in Ecclesiastes 12:13. Those of us who may know, what's the whole conclusion of the matter?
Fear God and keep His commandments.
There it is. That's the whole conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep His commandments. So if you have anybody to tell you don't have to keep those old commandments, then you take them right there to Ecclesiastes 12:13. That's the whole conclusion of the matter. You can't get around that, okay? All right. So and I also want to share with you, because my brother Rodney, we do our best here in trying to simplify this thing, for those that first time hearing such a thing. And I just kind of wanted to bring something to the surface here concerning, because he mentioned many times the Jewish, and Israelites, and so you may have got a little confused about who he was speaking of. And I just wanted to say this: Ish, I-S-H. What do that mean? Anybody know what that means? I-S-H? It's a like, right? So who are those that call themselves Jew-ish? Right. It's those that's not the true Jew. The Jew-ish, or you have Esau, which is supposedly our brother, right? But different. He was one that was red and hairy. So I just kind of want to differentiate the difference between, let you guys know the difference between our brother, which is the Jewish, so there actually is our brother. And I know that's kind of weird, but it's true, it's written. And I want to say that when he says Jew, we're Israelites. Okay, Jew is slang. It comes from the word Judah, so it's slang. So there's really no Jew. There's actually Judah. There's the Israelites, and Israelite has 12 tribes, and Judah is just one of the seeds from the 12 tribes. So yeah, so we are Hebrew Israelites, and I don't know if you follow me there, but we're doing our best to just try to break this thing down for you, to simplify it, so everybody can kind of understand. Again, I felt as though I needed to say that because you may have got a little twisted with, if this is your first time hearing the word Jew versus Israelites, who the Jew is, and all of that. But again, we want to thank y'all for coming out. We got still some light refreshments in the back. This concludes the program, but you can feel free to mingle. We got plenty of pictures up here. Feel free to take pictures of the illustrations we have here. Come and read some of this stuff, because it is truly amazing. And again, we want everybody to make it back to your dwelling place safely. And again, Israel's Church of the Living God, truly appreciate you guys coming out. Truly appreciate you coming out. And please come visit us. We're there in Zion. We are currently looking to purchase property or get our own place. Currently, we're renting space, and the church is the people. So no matter where we're at, we're going to be still kicking that book. I mean, we bring the truth. So if you're interested, please come see us. What's the address there again? Because I don't have it off the top.
501 Deborah Avenue, Zion, Illinois, 60079.
501?
2501.
25, there it is, I'm sorry. 2501 Deborah Avenue, Zion, Illinois.
$1.
All right, so feel free to donate for the cause, because again, we have a building fund, and we absolutely, again, thank y'all for coming out. Have a great evening, and make it home safely, please. God bless. I know. That scared me.
I thought you better go ahead and sing, man.
No, I can't. That door ain't gonna help. It's warm outside. She just turned the air back on.